We got Halo news!
You've got mail.
Master Chief has been casted for the Halo TV show, and we have breaking news about the show, including light story details, Halo Infinite connections, a character confirmed, story direction, story focus, and potentially inspired by Game of Thrones, and much, much more. It's gonna be a great one. Stay tuned. Showtime recently casted the actor Pablo whatever that is, whom you may remember from Orange is the New Black. He played Pornstache Mendez and also played in American Gods. Now, he was casted to play the one and only Master Chief. So firstly, well, this guy's well built. He's 6'5", and his voice I could see being pretty close to Master Chief, even from this casual interview.
And I worked with Heather on tweaking a bunch of elements, but the biggest one being the chronology.
Now, you might agree that he's got the dry, thick voice of a Spartan, like Chief. In my opinion, I think so anyway.
She said that to me once about being a machine.
A bunch of elements, but the biggest one
I think his face could be pretty close fit to what we saw in Halo 4's legendary ending of Chief's face as well. But since Chief is usually quiet and practically never removes his helmet, we may not see John's face a whole lot, if at all, in the TV show. It was also confirmed by KikiWolfkill that Chief will certainly be a big part of the TV show in the series. In addition to all that, on Halo Waypoint it was stated, in addition to finding our Chief, we've also enlisted the help of Yerin Ha, who will play a new character named Quan Ah. This audacious 16-year-old from the Outer Colonies meets Master Chief at a fateful time for them both. I can't wait to see more Halo live action goodness. So obviously things right now are super unclear. We don't even know what the story is going to be about, but I'm very curious to see what Yerin Ha will do with Quan Ah, who this character is, and wow, you know, a 16-year-old girl meeting Master Chief is going to be very interesting, and I wonder if they're going to pull off like a father-daughter relationship on, you know, an epic sci-fi adventure. I think that would be a really cool twist, and I really like that game, The Last of Us, so there's a lot of potential with a father and daughter relationship, and to see that with Chief, not that anything's confirmed here, I think that would be really cool. But anyway, how they meet, where they meet, what they're doing are questions completely left unanswered, but I'm very thrilled to see how this all unfolds. It was also addressed in an interview that Master Chief has always been a man of few words, and the challenge of characterizing someone like him in a medium like a TV show needs more talking. Well, KikiWolfkill addressed this general question here and how they deal with that, and she said, yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the interesting challenges going into the TV series, especially, you know, as we do these boot camps for anyone coming on to the show. So all of the department heads and the network and marketing, we've done a lot of these to really express sort of what the DNA of Halo and his end of each of the characters and the relationships to each other. And it was sort of the first challenges. You know, if we want to have a dramatic story around the Master Chief, around John, then we have to be able to have him communicate more. But how do we do that and still keep him stoicism, right? And it's been sort of that sense of control from him. And so that's how we think about it, right? If you hear him more, how does it not feel out of character or untrue of who he is? And that's just really a dialogue challenge. Showtime also described this show as the most ambitious series ever on the network. And I suppose that makes sense since most of Showtime shows have been revolving around drama here on Earth, such as Shameless or Dexter, Weed, Billions, and so on. So Halo's sort of sticking out here. Although we really have no idea what this story is or what it's going to be about, what direction, or even the time that it's going to take place, we do know that they will have connections to Halo Infinite to some degree. Although not completely straight on, it will probably be indirect connections. In a recent interview with Shack News, 343 Industries executive producer KikiWolfkill affirmed that the Halo TV show will have a strong emphasis on characters, creating a more human experience similar to Forward Unto Dawn. Quote, when we do big live action pieces, we want more time to do what's harder for us to do in games. Things like character development and character-focused storytelling. I think we've tried to do a lot of that in the games, but it's just a different medium. And so we wanted to be able to have 9+ hours to explore those stories versus just 2 hours. For us, being very character-focused is very important for this piece, end quote. Showtime also declared that the aim of the show is to be original and memorable. It's our Halo, they said. It's also claimed by HollywoodReporter.com that Dr. Halsey and a new character named Jenny, an Asian woman about 18 or 20, was casted, which maybe was a placeholder name for Quan Ah. And I'm very thrilled to see what they do with that character. Also, Nevins at Showtime said after seeing the script, it will have an enormous appeal to Halo fans and also appeal to Showtime drama fans. And that quote is super significant, and I'll read that last part again. It will also appeal to Showtime drama fans. So it's gonna have that drama. If you liked any of the shows that I listed earlier, like Weed, Billions, Dexter, or Shameless, and so on, then this show might really appeal to you, besides it being, you know, Halo and Halo drama and stuff. So I'm very, very thrilled about that. Also a little bit concerned. I'm kind of scared what they're gonna do with that. But also Kiki was asked if she could share any story details, and obviously that would be a no, but she did say, quote, "We are actively working on it, actively working on the creative process, actively working on production. It's incredibly exciting for us because it just feels like we have great collaboration and momentum." And you know, there have been times during the show that when it's all focused on the business side of it and contracts, negotiations, all of that, it feels like we're beyond that stage now, and frankly in the far more gratifying part of the process, which is the creative one. So that's really thrilling. It seems that most of the paperwork is done. The show's already being greenlit. They're really organizing, they're casting people, they got the new director, so things are actually coming together, and I'm very thrilled for that. She also disclosed that Frank O'Connor is her creative partner on the show, which is the head franchise leader of 343 and, you know, Halo. And they also talked about Game of Thrones, and she explained, "I read all the books before the show came out. They were extremely faithful to the book very early on, but you know, even within season 1, they had some pretty strong deviations. And I remember watching that, I would be momentarily jarred by the fact that they were changing how something had read in the book, but then very quickly understood why, right, and all that they were very smart. And all of those cases, I feel like they made a decision to change the story for a really good reason." I'm like, wow, that was an amazing scene. I completely get why they made that change. So let me just take a step back here. Just reading from the notes, I'm getting more and more excited from this. I already knew these details before I made this video, but just reading it over just makes me super excited, more than I was before. But aside from the fact that, you know, we had to wait years from any real info, and like the director leaving the production, and a lot of concerning details, and the fact that they might shift the canon in the show, as KikiWolfkill was just explaining in that code a little bit, as well as the video that I made about a week ago, I think they may pull this whole thing off after all. The Game of Thrones inspiration really does make sense, as it's one incredible show and very well received, despite changing the canon. And the Game of Thrones producers and directors, they changed the story because it made more sense for the story that they were trying to express there, even though, you know, the books didn't quite have those exact details. And so with a little bit of time to think about it, many fans, including myself, really did not like Halo 5's story. I mean, I've joked about them erasing the canon of Halo 4 and 5 because it's just so poorly written and doesn't really appeal to any of the elements about heroism and sacrifice and war and humanity and sticking together and, you know, all that good stuff. It just did not even appear in Halo 4 and 5. And it seems that 343 has come full circle. They understand that now, and maybe they might implement that in a post-Halo 4, post-Halo 5 story that has elements that might conflict with the story. Hell, maybe even something before Halo 5, and have those elements and change the story to compensate for the raw heroics, for the raw war that we remember back in Halo 1 to 3. So, hey, maybe them shifting the canon, fixing up the mistakes that they made before, might be actually pretty cool to see what they come up with, to have a second chance at some of the story that they maybe realized wasn't so great, you know? It just really depends on what they do, you know? So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Too early to tell, right? And as a reminder, Showtime president Gary Levine said, "We made a conscious decision to hire a writer not known for sci-fi and not known for big battle movies, because that's already baked into the Halo franchise, and we will service that. But we also wanted to ensure that we were getting beneath the formidable armor of the Spartans and really getting inside the team drama so it felt like it belonged on Showtime. So some people have the speculation that Blue Team will appear in this TV show based off that quote there, getting inside the team drama. Now they could just be talking about Master Chief, the girl, and maybe a couple other characters that are part of the mission or adventure or whatever it is. So who knows, but I would love to see Blue Team, and I would love to get more into knowing Blue Team on the big screen. I think that would be really, really cool. But what I'm looking forward to most from all of this is how it ties into Halo Infinite, of course. And Kiki explained that they're just focused on making the show great and making the next game as great as it can be as well. But the focus is to keep them independent, something special in their own right. So I think they're actually playing their cards pretty well here, because 343 wants there to be connections, but also they know that they shouldn't need each other, right? For example, you don't need to play the next Halo game to understand the show, nor should you have to watch the show to understand the game. That's 10 hours that they have planned. So no, I don't think we should have to watch 10 hours if we don't like the first episode or two. If it just doesn't appeal to me, why should I watch the whole thing, right? Well, I think this is the right direction, and considering Halo 5 Guardians did this to the max, where you had to understand stories, exterior stories, extended lore, novels and shows and other things to understand what was basically like really fragmented, confused episode, which was Halo 5, well, it was just a mess, and they're trying to avoid that now. It was overwhelming, as they said. And Frank O'Connor explained on Twitter recently how he was super confident and enthusiastic about how Halo Infinite would be handling its veteran Halo players and newcomers. Although I think that was about multiplayer, I do think that they are still really looking forward to making that. Although I do also remember them saying that they want the campaign to be very accessible for new players, so it's very likely that Halo Infinite will do right by the story. Subscribe and get more updates about Halo's TV show, Halo Infinite, and any news regarding Halo, Xbox, and E3 2019. My job here on HaloFollower is to keep you informed all year round about Halo, and if you're already subbed, then you are freaking awesome. Thank you so much. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already, because YouTube doesn't share subscriptions on home anymore for some reason. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video soon. Peace.